Welcome to case study. ICAN case finance professional level case study. This is another recent development in the development of ICAN and its studentry. Case study happened to be within the syllabus some years back, and for one reason or the other, it was deleted from the syllabus, and for some other reasons, in the course of globalization and contemporariness of ICAN exams, it is brought back. So we'll start with preambles to case study. For those who may not know, case study is basically the testing of various other courses within the syllabus in a particular course, and is majorly a practical session. But before we go on, before we start up with the practical sessions, taking different cases with different scenarios, will make us to understand some, at least what we can call preliminary knowledge, or what we call background to case study, or preambles to case study. So preambles to case study. A case study represents a body of information describing a particular problem situation. In an organizational context, it is an amount of thought, behavior, and interpersonal relationship among different managers, employees, and clients, as well as an account of general environment conditions and priorities that characterized a specific decision action field. Such cases are to be analyzed rather than solved. What we are saying in the very first paragraph is to let us understand that when we say case study basically represents a body of information describing particular problems, describing situations, describing happenings in an organization. That's what we mean by organizational context. And when we say happenings in an organization, we should appreciate the fact that any given organization has gotten different departments, sections, maybe depending on the type of organization. So where is the problem coming from? Where is the situation arising from? Is it a particular department? Is it a particular section? Then is it 2-3 departments or the whole organization? Where we have this situation and we know that every department is manned or headed by a particular manager, and there is always an interaction between the manager of every department with other departments, and that's why we call them functional managers. And at the same time, these functional managers report to another senior boss that we call the GM or executive directors or managing directors, as the case may be. So if we want also really appreciate that when things happen in an organization affecting various departments or a particular department, affecting the production activity or affecting the relationship between these managers, any of these could spill up what we call the need for a resolution, the need for a solution, the need for an adjustment, the need for an amendment of the situation or resolving the problem. All this is what it could be embodied. That is, all the problems, all the situations that have necessitated the meeting of the managers, meeting of the directors, meeting of the GMs, and the staff to resolving a particular problem or the problems at hand is what we call a case study. So case study resolves around the following. So a case study revolves around the following departmental problems. Organizational problems. Inter-department. So what we call intra company problems, and so many other problems. So as we go on, we definitely come to appreciate the areas or the expansive areas that case study has to address. Analysis may evolve through classroom discussion or be offered in a written report. That is, when we say analyzing a case study, it may be in a classroom discussion and may be a report by a staff of an organization or the representative of an organization to a consultant, to their auditor, to maybe third parties. In either form, each analysis starts with a focus in a central issue or question representing an accurate reflection of the total problem or situation. That is, the analysis in question definitely have to talk about the problem, the situation, and the analysis will take the form of digging deep a bit, trying to do some investigation or do some further interrogation of the people around the problem or the situation at hand. Within this definition, alternative course of action may be hypothesized, an argumentative thesis explaining further detail of important action elements of the case can then be developed. This argument should be supported by factual and interpretative evidence from the case itself, not from vague generalizations and opinion. A final step in the analysis may be a set of recommendations and opinions suggesting action or decision logically following such argumentation. What we are trying to say in effect is that there may be need for coming up with what we call theories or hypotheses on a particular case study in the course of trying to resolve that case study. That is, we think out alternative causes of action. And these alternative causes of action could be a bit argumentative in the sense that these are theories that may not have been implemented at all in that organization, and these are new theories that we intend to put in place. We must be able to argue for such theories. We must be able to justify the implementation of such theories. We must be able to justify the benefits accruable to the organization if such theories are implemented. Another thing with case studies that there is also the need for us to be factual with our argument. That is, when we argue, we must be able to come up with facts as regards maybe some other organizations who have had cause to implement such theory, or who has run into such problem or similar problem that we are facing at the moment. So those facts are very necessary, and apart from the facts, there must be some element of interpretation of the facts of the facts that we are bringing forth. Because when we say bringing up facts, we should appreciate the fact that in an organization we're having diverse employees, diverse professionals, and at the same time we must be able to make each professional, each employee with their diverse experience, their diverse exposures and peculiarities, to be able to understand the facts we are coming up with, and to be with that fact we be able to serve as evidence for our intended theories or our intended solutions that we are profiling to that particular problem. Purposes of case studies. That is, why do we have case studies? And this purpose of case studies could be as numerous as possible, and that is, we cannot really exhaust the purpose of case studies. But for the purpose of our examination, for the purpose of our knowledge at this level, we will definitely have to mention some of those purposes. The very first one is what we call increase in awareness of environmental conditions. Two is adding to knowledge of organizational behavior. Three is strengthening abilities in identifying situational problems. Then 4 is enhancing skill in framing appropriate questions. Then 5 has to do with what? Improve skill of problem solving. Taking those purposes one after the other for explanation purposes. The very first one we say increase awareness of environmental conditions. That is, the purpose of case analysis is for us to be able to understand what we call developmental trend. Developmental trend in a profession, industry, trade, sector, etc. That is, a case analysis will make us understand what is going on, what's the latest happening within our profession, what's the latest happening in our industry, what's the latest happening in that trade, what's the latest happening in a particular sector, country, regions, even globally. So with these happenings, these current happenings, these current trends are now depicted in a case, and making those trends to really sink to our marrow by the time it is depicted in a case. Because ordinarily, if some trends are explained to us without being giving scenarios to them, we may not be able to really comprehend those happenings in totality. As such, cases or developmental trends are made aware, are brought to the awareness of the people, of the masses, or of the giving professionals in the form of a case analysis. And for the second point, that is adds to knowledge of organizational behavior. Case analysis enhances our improved knowledge about the organizational behavior. What do we mean by this? We made us understand that cases can span any area of endeavor, any area of a discipline. So when a case is brought up in an organization, it may have different dimensions to it, and one of the dimensions cases do have is the organizational behavior. That is, what are the way, the manners and attitudes of employees in that organization. And why we add to the knowledge of every employee or every participant of that case analysis is the fact that a particular employee who is employed in a department, especially the junior or middle level staff, who had little or no cause to interact with other staff in other departments, especially for official interactions, may not be able to understand the behavior in that department. So as such, they have what you can call a limited understanding of the behavior available in an organization. But as every employee moves up the ladder, there is that tendency to have increased interaction with other departments, and as such they now tend to understand the organizational behavior. But outside this, the happening of a particular problem, the presentation of a case in hand to all employees will make every employee to have enough information about the case. And in the course of having enough information about the case in hand and interacting with other departmental members or departmental staff, and even senior officers who ordinarily they had no cause of a meeting, will make such employees to understand what we call organizational behavior. And even if they had an element of it before, it will definitely add to their knowledge of what is meant by organizational behavior. On the third point that says strengthening abilities in identifying situational problems, case studies also increases the ability of staff of organizations to identify situational problems. How does this happen? if a particular organization over time now had the philosophy or the infantry or the principle of adopting what to call case analysis solution orientation, that is, where things happen in the organization, they make it to become a case study, and it becomes what everybody within the organization brainstorm upon, and with that they are able to resolve problems. Once that becomes a philosophy of the organization, an approach to management problems in that organization, it indirectly increases the knowledge base of staff, and it makes the staff to be able to identify problems in the future, because being abreast of case studies over a period of time expands the knowledge base of the staff, widen the horizon of various staff, because cases make every staff to always think beyond his immediate profession, his immediate assignment, his immediate activity within the organization. So this exposure brings out what we call creative thinking in the staff, and the creative thinking ability will definitely make those such staffs to be able to identify situational problems. And once staffs are able to identify situational problems, they can be part and parcel of solutions to those problems. And for the fourth point that says enhancing skill in framing appropriate questions, this may be for, say, lecturers or consultants or professionals or people involved in training and development, or say manpower development for various organizations. The ability or the opportunity of going through cases, doing case analysis over a period of time, makes it possible for a consultant to be able to come up with questions, what we call imaginary questions, hypothetical questions for an organizations that may have appoint the consultant to come up with questions similar to their problems, similar to their situations, and that questions that will really add value to the staff and add value to the organization. So being abreast of case studies will be able to assist such consultants to be able to come up with such questions. And for the last point, improving skill of problem solving. Today's business world is a dynamic and a turbulent one, that it is believed that the resolution of a particular problem also triggers a new problem. So problem solving has become a continuous thing in today's business world, and staff or managers who have had the opportunity of passing through case analysis, of passing through case study sessions for a reasonable period of time, become better problem solvers than those who have not had that opportunity of passing through case studies.